Just a felon, just a felon, man. In here for a little quick, whatever you want to call this, man. So my thought today, this is, my thoughts are always sparked by some type of occurrence that I won't speak on, but speaking with somebody recently, I was just thinking like, if you had the mindset, right, that the world done you wrong, anything that happened to you, bro, I'm here, like me, all right, I got myself landed in prison, the world did me wrong, right? You will never grow as a person with this mindset. You will never grow as a person. And I used to have that mindset in prison, like, oh, it's unjust. The world did me wrong. You know what I mean? Yeah, I sold it him. Yeah, I stabbed him, but no, the world did me wrong, bro. Like my second bid, like especially, I came out with in a good headspace, but I didn't change my thinking at the time, right? I just thought like, all right, don't do any more criminal activity. It's that easy, right? Come home, I got a job, I'm doing college online and all, I'm doing good and I'm avoiding situations and I end up going out to the bar or something. Wasn't drinking, it was a work night. I usually didn't go out and I had an altercation with someone, so to speak, or I felt some type of way and I hit them, right? And I did some damage, I did a lot of damage, you know what I mean? But I only hit him once, whatever. So they set me back, and it was originally charged as aggravated assault, right? Yo, aggravated assault. I hit this dude one time. He had 3 surgeries for, you know, it was extensive damage. So, but I'm still like, bro, I only hit him one time. I'm not thinking like, yo, you just like fucking broke this dude's whole shit. Like he can't speak. Like he can't go to work. You know, I'm not thinking like that. I'm like, damn, this is on aggravated assault. It ended up dropping to simple. I ended up doing 2 years for this, bro. And I maxed out. I got a 1 to 2, and I thought the world did me wrong, man. Like I was going to college. I was working full time, working my ass off. Like I was doing everything. But no, bro, I didn't look inside myself. I can deal with, right? I can deal with like knowing like, all right, something's wrong with me, right? It's overwhelming because it's like especially trying to change the mindset and adapt to that mindset. It's overwhelming, right? But it's doable, right? But now if the world's against you, the world's just doing you wrong, right? You're not you. What can you do? That's overwhelming and impossible to control, right? If that's the reality, and if you're speaking this and speaking on it, it's reality because it's reality in your mind. So you're going to react as if this is actually the case. So if you have the mindset, the world's against me and everything's happening to me and nobody's with me and blah blah blah, you'll never grow, bro. You're just going to be, you can't do nothing. If that's the reality, if that's actually factual, which it's not, I don't care who you are, bro. You know, uh, if you're living that reality in your mind, bro, you're not going to grow. Anything that happens is not your fault. You can friggin' crash you can whatever. Like you can back out of your driveway and you're gonna blame it on someone else. Something can fall. You can knock something over your cup of coffee. You're gonna blame it on somebody else. Like, but it's deeper than that. It's not just the small things. You know, like I said, my mindset used to be this. I was in and out of prison. I kept blaming on everything except myself. Like, well, I wasn't selling drugs. I wasn't doing this. And I wasn't doing that. So I shouldn't be in prison. And even this last time, I went for help. And it led to, because of, I guess I was never diagnosed with PTSD. I think to a degree I do have it, but just because of certain paranoias and living in the culture and the setting that I had for so long, prison, um, my paranoia caused me to harm somebody, a staff member in a state hospital. It was a male. Not that, I'm just letting you know, I don't have no violence against women, man. Don't get down like that, even when my thinking was. But so it was a male psych technician or something. And, when I went there to get help. You know what I mean? Um, and I told him I was paranoid. And long story short, this dude, like a lot of things were kind of like triggering me. And he had like his keys in his knuckles like this. And upstate, they put them big ass keys in their knuckles. That's how they assault you. They punch you in your head and all. So I got paranoid and I ended up, I hurt him, but it's my only case that an innocent person was harmed, but that wasn't intentional. I thought I was in danger. However, there's other things that contributed to leading me to even needing to go there. Certain certain things I was tripping, man. And I don't want to speak on that, but so for the longest time, like, because it's easy to place blame on somebody else. It's easy. You know what I mean? Like I've done it recently, unknowingly, not intentionally, because you don't. When you have this type of mindset, you don't realize you have this type of mindset. You just what you realize or believe is that everything's happening to you, and you don't have any contribution. I don't care who you are or where you're in life. I don't care if I'm walking down the street and I just get hit in the face. I still had contribution to that happening. Maybe I didn't aggravate this person, and maybe it's not justified. But me walking on the street at that walking on that time when I was supposed to be at, let's say, school or work or whatever, you know what I mean? I put myself. That doesn't justify that happening to me. Don't get that twisted. However, any situation you're in, you do contribute to some level. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean you have wrongdoing or that you deserve if you are, but we need to look at that. All right, how do I avoid that next time? Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I was on my phone. I walked in this person's path. I can't control what somebody else does. That didn't justify him hitting me, right? But let's say that was the reason, and I didn't realize that at first. But maybe I was walking in his path, not paying attention, and maybe I bumped into him. He was having a now it's still not justice, but I know like oh well you got to be more considerate of people. Not that you can prepare for a situation like that. But however, there's a lesson in how we handle everything, But like I said, it starts with the mindset. So like I said, what we're speaking on, I can't see who's logged in right now, if anybody. But if you do have questions, I'll try to get on my Facebook now, my other device. Apple hired me as a spokesperson. All right, so let me see. See if we have any comments so far. Probably not at this time, but no. So nobody's even in. So, yeah, we're talking about, like I said, if you're watching this video, hopefully you guys tune in later. I know people are at work. So, but talking about, like I said, if you just tuned in, just having the mindset of like the world done me wrong. Something happens. You're here. You're there. Whatever. And it's always, no matter what it is, it's just the world did it to you. You didn't do it. You have no contribution. You will never grow. You'll never grow like this. You're not going to progress as a human. You're not going to be successful in anything. Anything like how can you be? Because any little thing happens, you have a sanction at work or something. Oh, it's not my fault. The coworker was doing this. It was. You're not going to succeed. You think you're going to climb the brain, with that mindset? Change our mindset. Let's start. And hold on, let me say this. Let me clarify because I don't want people getting this wrong. If somebody was a victim of something, you know what I mean? Legitimately, you didn't deserve that. No, no, no. Whether what you did or didn't. But there's life lessons to take around. I have to make sure I'm protected. Maybe don't go out at night. Maybe if you're able to carry protection, but this is nothing that justifies. So let's clarify because I didn't think that, but this is not what we're speaking on. So please don't take my words wrong. That stuff is serious to me. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying what you deserve and what you don't deserve because in that situation, But what I'm saying is we do put ourselves in positions of at the least vulnerability, maybe, or positions for harm to come to ourselves because of our actions. You're going out to an area that you used to go to when you used to do this or that, like you're setting yourself up for failure. And maybe in that area you get blamed for something you didn't do. Is that justified? You got blamed? No, but I should not have been in that area, bro, because I know that when I was in that area, that's when I used to do this or I used to do that, and then that puts me at risk of going back to old behaviors. But it also, like I said, um, the mindset. The world's not against you. The world doesn't owe you shit either, bro. The world don't owe you shit for a while. I just like sat back, like something's gonna happen because I had such a shit life. Like just sitting back, like yeah, my time's coming, like this. That's like saying like yeah, I gotta go clean some shit up. But yeah, no, it's gonna happen because it's got to, right? But I'm just sitting here. So how do you expect it to happen, bro? You're sitting the fuck down in your chair. You just expect this shit to get done. That's how my mind. That's how it was for years. Like I had the little positive stuff in there. Like yeah, no, I know I'm destined for something, and I'm just sitting down. Well, how are you going to get to where you're going if you don't travel, right? There's no. Do we know of any like warp machines now? Black holes? Is that a thing now? I don't know, bro. I don't know, but until then, you can't get to your destination unless you're willing to travel. You know what I mean? You gotta get your ass up and walk, ride, drive, bear crawl. I don't know what you gotta get to where you're going. You know what I mean? So, like I said, mindset, man. The world's not against you. And whether something unjustifiably happened to you or not, learn from the experience. See how you can prevent yourself from being in a position of vulnerability to allow something like that to happen. Doesn't justify it. However, what can I do in the future to prevent this from happening again or things like it? Like I said, any situation I've had in prison, outside, that I recognize, I try to analyze, even if it's nothing, right? Like, I'm not paying attention. I bumped into somebody and look like, but nothing happens, right? Nothing happens. That's it. I'll go back and be like, damn, like that person could have been in a bad mood and just swung on me. Then what would I have done? Somebody swings on me. I got to defend myself. And then what happens? I go back to prison. So see, even though none of that happened, I sit back and I analyze and I overthink. A lot of people say I overthink, but I have to, because not overthinking gets me sent to prison. Me not thinking that through, like, hold, nothing happened by me bumping into this person. However, what if it was a different person? Or what if this person was going through something different and they just decided to swing on me? I've seen people get swung on for less, way less. So, and way more for way less. So I have to go back and be like, damn, next time I got to make sure when I'm walking into the Wawa that I'm not on my phone like this and not paying attention. You know what I mean? Because that could be perceived a type of way. Or I can, you know, bump into somebody, or there could be a kid that I have to walk into, and then what do you think a parent's going to do? You walk in and injure their kid because you're not paying attention. Not saying that this has happened, but I'm just giving examples of how I try to view things now. I try to look, and I look at why I thought what way I thought, and oh well, you thought, let me get my business shit, this stuff for my brand done. Let me do that now because I got a lot to do. But you know what I mean? Look at the possible consequences of just that basic action. What did you go back to jail for? Because I was on my phone. Because that would have been the truth. I was on my phone and I didn't change my mindset, maybe, but I was on my phone. That's it. Well, yeah, no, more stuff happened. You were on your phone, and then this parent felt some type of way, and then, like I said, uh, this is not an actual. This did not happen. This is just me trying to explain to you guys um, the importance of analyzing your thoughts and behaviors, and even overthinking a little bit. Because, like I said, everybody that knows me say I overthink. I'm constantly forgetting things mid sentence because my mind's everywhere. And I'm very cautious. I'm paranoid because, like, just small things. We're driving, right? And I'm not driving, but I'm in a passenger seat. We're driving. I'm with whoever. And then I see up here that there's a parent walking with their kid, or I see a kid at all. Now, we're in the street. I'm like, yo, there's a kid up there. Yeah, I see it. Well, I'd rather make it known and prevent an accident from happening, because what if a kid just runs out, just darts out? When I drive in them situations, I'm driving very slow. I don't care if this is a 30 mile per hour or whatever. I see a kid there, but it's just small things like this. I overthink because I know people that are spending a lot of time in prison, years in prison, for lapses of awareness like this. So I have to be hyper aware because I know where it can land me. And also I have certain risks that the general citizen doesn't. You know what I mean? But everybody to a degree has certain risks that other people don't, right? In my situation, is a situation can happen for you that doesn't land you in jail, and you might get a sanction or whatever. That same situation will land me in jail for maybe, if I'm lucky, if I'm fortunate, 2 years, 5 years, maybe more, depending what it is. If it involves violence, I'm doing some time. I'll be fortunate to get 10 to 20 years, man. So I got to think things through. Things got to be worth it, and you always got to be smart. Use your head. We always say upstate, right? You can't think for other people. Having the mindset of the world always being against you, the world doing you wrong, that's an example of that, basically. But you can't control what other people do. You can only control yourself. You got to think for other people. You can't, yo, what's up, sis? Uh, so you can't, you got to think for people, right? That's what we used to say upstate, right? Because I got to the point where we're the old heads. You know what I mean? Respect your old heads, but some of the young bulls come through and they don't know who you are. The dudes that been there know. They know the work you put in. They know, let's just say, the violence. I don't have to specify. You know what I mean? They know the violence and the level you're willing to take things. The young bulls coming through don't know, right? So relate this to the world, because the world is full of ignorant ass youngins, young bulls, kids, children. They're ignorant, they're cocky, they're arrogant. They think the world owes them something, right? So, and there's and a lot of them are friggin' out there doing all this crazy shit. You know what I mean? Violent, more violent than we ever were. You got to think for these type of people. Keep yourself out of their way. So it's not even a, you know what I mean? And upstate, it was the same thing. What you say, sis? You always be going live when I'm working and can't fully watch. Listen, I'm good though, sis. You can always anybody. You can always catch these later on. If you don't got to catch them as I do them spontaneously. You know what I mean, but so the point of that was you can't. You have to think for other people because you have to think for them, meaning you can't change their mind. So I got to think for you, and that means me removing myself from a situation that makes me fuck you up. That's the prison mindset. Like out here, it's a little, but you got to apply this to the world, bro. You can only think for them, but you can't think for them. You know what I mean? That means remove yourself from being in a position where something could, you know, negatively happen to you, whatever. So mindset, man, mindset. I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm gonna keep going over it. I'm gonna burn the subject out. I'm gonna apply it to different things until you guys realize the importance of your mindset. And me too, man. I learn things daily about myself that I didn't realize. That's why I'm so open to criticism. Be open to criticism. Don't let nobody talk down to you, piece of shit. You look like shit. Nah, bro, fuck you then. You know what I mean? But if you got a friend that's like, bro, you might need to get a little more sleep. You got little bags under your eyes or something like that. Or yo, bro, you're getting in the gym, bro. Like, get back. Like, you're losing it a little bit. All right, you know what I mean? That's different. But be open to criticism about anything. Somebody says you're a certain way, it's natural to get defensive, right? So, I don't know. In 25 minutes, Ashley, we will see. I was gonna keep this semi short, probably at like 30 minutes, but we might be able to. We'll see how it goes. Um, so, damn, I lost my thought. I lost my thought. Mindset, bam, applying it to different situations because no matter a situation, good, bad, pro-social, antisocial, whatever, it stems from mindset. Your behaviors come from your mindset, your thought processes, and learning to address these and analyze them, monitor them can it's you will succeed in anything you do if you master your mindset, if you master how you think, if you learn the reasons you think like you think and start looking, deciding to view things from that point of view and that perspective, bro. I'm telling you, it's the best high in the world, bro. I struggled, but I didn't, and I don't think I conquered or mastered my mindset by any level. But I seen the progress, the person that I was then and the person I am now, just my thinking, not even the person, and how it shaped me into becoming who I am or how I see myself. We don't always see ourselves accurately, but I'm like, damn, this shit is real. And that's where it comes from. That's where my drive comes from, right? The motivation, yo, I'm gonna do this. Like, I'm gonna get it. Whatever it is, bro. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna get it. Like, shit's rough right now, bro. I'm like, damn, I'm I'm fucked up, like on the real, but I still got my mindset and I know shit's gonna work because I'm putting in the work. I'm still, it may not be paying right now, but I'm all day working on stuff, my brain, my not learning, doing this and stuff all day, man. Like all day, people are like, yo, you're always on your phone, but yo, it's not. Sometimes it's frivolous, you gotta put a little mix of fun in there, you know what I mean? But besides that, bro, I'm on there. I'm networking, I'm arranging, I'm getting followers, doing this, going on people, learning from content creators. Like it's a lot of work that's not putting any money in my pocket right now, but I'm building for my future. I'm building for my future. And that shit is consuming, bro. You think it's just fun being off, like, bro, it's every step. And you stop for 1 second, and it's 30 notifications, and you gotta interact because of what I'm doing. You have to interact. And I'd like to anyway. People that are reaching out or audiences and all, they're asking, or they comment, or I'm on their post or on my, I like to engage, man. That's good. That helps not only build your brain, but it allows people to know me for me. You know what I mean? We're back on topic, man. Like I said, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about viewing the world as always to have done you wrong. Anything you've done, like anything that happens to you, any position you're in, this and that. Oh, my boss fired me. He gave T this many chances. He only gave me three. Well, bro, that was three chances, man. So you sure it's the walls is against you? The world's no, man. No, we have to take accountability, man. We have to take accountability for our actions. We have to take accountability for wherever the hell we are in life. That doesn't mean somebody said this recently. This is what I meant to this is what I meant to title this shit, right? And I forgot. I think it's one or two people I think that told me this. So the the fair thing about life, right? The fair thing about life is that it's unfair to everybody. Bro, I gotta see who to I believe but I was like, yo, and I think it was from a source that I probably shouldn't have even been fucking talking to, but and take knowledge no matter where it comes from, as long as you know it's legitimate, or advice, no matter where it comes. That's a good point. It's a good point. The devil has good advice at times, not saying that the devil has good, so it's like even the devil is capable of telling the truth. You know what I mean? So when that truth comes, you recognize it and accept it. You know what I mean? Or learn from it, process it. Don't just dismiss it. I'm not saying you listen to the devil, you don't. But I'm saying there's a lesson in everything. There's teachings all around us, and sometimes a person that has even, let's say, just been like a complete, like, nothing's the truth. Sometimes there's a truth or a fact or a gem in it like that. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about anybody specific here, so. But mindset, man, mindset. So, like I said, when when I first came to realization that my mindset was like, and another person, not to put him out there, I miss you, Pop, R.I.P. You're probably not, but try to R.I.P. His mindset was like that, man. Like everybody did me wrong. If I went to jail, bro, it was everybody's fault but mine. And I get it. You're a parent. You want to be, and some shit was unjust. However, I wasn't innocent. I went back to jail one time two times with good intentions, and that was getting the help from the hospital. And the time before that, I left the halfway house to do something uh, to help somebody out. And it didn't work, but I went to jail. So I kind of justified that. But, I always look back like, damn, were your intentions pure? Was it 100% for that? Because if it's tarnished with 1% of insincerity, then it's completely insincere in my eyes. So you always question your own intentions, because you can say your intentions, but we really don't. Sometimes we think we do, and sometimes that's an altered perception. You know what I mean? But so like I said, I have to, I had to take, but when I realized like my mindset, like I said, my dad's mindset was always like that. When something was wrong, like it was the whole world that did it wrong, like da 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 da. And anytime I went to jail, he's like, yeah, these motherfuckers. And then I'm like, yeah, Pop, but I did do that. Yeah, 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 but fuck that. And you know what I mean? And, but so I see where my mindset came from in that aspect. And, going through, I went through as childhood. And it usually stems from childhood. So, how do I say this? I don't betray trust. So but I try to give jewels off of things that conversations I've had. So that's why I'm pausing to see if there's a way to do that without betraying trust. So I'll hold off on that because I don't want to give up too much of something and something, I take trust seriously, even when I've been betrayed by people whose trust I'm honoring. So do not let somebody else's actions dictate your integrity. So, yeah, but like I said, when I realized that was my mindset, it was such a burden off of my shoulders, right? You would think like, oh no, now everything else is on me. That's not. That's more of a burden. Yeah, I mean, all right, I get it from that aspect, and it was like, holy shit, I got a lot of work to do, but realize it was a major step. But like I said earlier in the podcast, when you know that it's yourself that is the issue, that is a correctable issue. If you know somebody else is an issue, that's not how are you correcting it. You can't correct that. That's not correctable. So if the world is the issue, well, you can't. Now, I'm not saying I'm trying to change the world. I'm trying to change the world. I want to change the world. So I'm not saying that can't be done, but I'm saying as far as like changing people, you can't change somebody's mindset. You can teach them, and then in the end they choose to do this or to do that. So in essence, you cannot change anybody. You can't alter nobody, nothing. You know what I mean? So, but once I realized, right, that I was the issue, that my mindset, me thinking the world was against me, It was a burden off my, because like I said, that's doable. It's not doable. If the world's against you, that's not, you can't change that. What are you going to do? The whole world's against you. Let's logically think about that. How can you, you can't change that. You can campaign to change their mind, but you can't just change. You have to change about yourself. You know what I mean? So when I realized like, all right, the problem is within, that's easy because I'm always with myself. I don't know a time that I was away from myself. I mean, I know times where I was away from who I really am as a person, but you know, where what you're always with yourself. You always have your mind, and you know, somebody said somebody's house I stayed over last night. They said like, "Are you talking to yourself?" Like, friend, whatever. But are you I'm like, yeah, I'm like, yeah. Cause I talk to myself, bro. I talk in my head, I talk out, I practice my speeches, how would I teach, how would I explain, because that also helps you learn. So if I learn something, I try to teach it even if nobody's there, because that helps retain the knowledge for myself, helps me become more fluid, and you know. But I'm also I'm analyzing my thoughts. I'm addressing my thoughts. If I have a thought that I think, or for instance, like back you know, in a day when I started realizing like certain of my actions were oppressive. Now, not like bullying, but your actions can be oppressive with good intent, or without malicious intent, let me say, or even with good intent. But mine was more, uh, you just don't always realize how you come off to people. You know what I mean? And I'll say that, like, you don't always realize how you're present. So when I started to realize, like, oh, you know, I would challenge myself, like, who the fuck are you, bro? When you got to the arrogant stages, because when you go from a hurt person to arrogance, and then you go to low self, like that's how it goes. I know a lot of people can relate, bro. You go from being hurt, and that's how a lot of situations, when you view the world against you, a lot of the times it's because you've dealt with legitimate trauma. There was somebody, I believe I could do this without betraying trust. Let me see. I want to think. Like I said, I take that here, but there's a lesson here, man. Um, so, hmm. All right. Well, somebody I know, I talk to a lot of people about like their issues and all that, and I like to try to help. And I'm a caring person. Sometimes it just helps to listen. So, one person, sorry, I'm trying to make sure, man. I'm trying to make sure I have to word it correctly because you know, like I said, it's a serious issue. I just let me just say it like this. I was able to relate childhood trauma to this person, right? Just because of what they were saying specifically. What they were saying or claiming was not, you know, factual or completely reality based, right? And I seen that for multiple reasons, and and I was like, yo, I think there was a time when when you were victimized, right? When something happened, something traumatic, and maybe you didn't gain the supports at that time that you felt like you deserved, and you did, right? I've dealt with childhood trauma, multiple levels, bro, and you feel like, and even when everybody's there, it seems like nobody's there. So you bring that into adulthood. Now, your brain's programmed to seek the things that you were lacking in childhood, right? So what that person was lacking was the support and love, or they thought so. This might not be, this is what you perceive. And if you perceive it, it's reality, because reality exists in your mind, not around us. Reality exists in your mind, bro. So what you believe is what it's going to be. You know what I mean? So this person felt that they were not adequately supported, helped, or protected at that age. Now, this is me telling them that, but their actions and certain things said in certain conversations led me to realize this, and I ended up being correct. And I'm like, damn. So now, as an adult, like I said, you're seeking the things you were lacking as a child. Kids that were not hugged, or you know, they might start like craving relationships. People with borderline personality disorder. I have borderline personality disorder. I was diagnosed with it. You know, it makes you think a certain. So you have maybe abandonment. Maybe that person has abandonment issues because they never had. They feel like their parents left them. You know what I mean? But so back to the specific point at hand. You know, this person, I hypothesized that, damn, you had some type of trauma where people weren't there to support you. So now maybe in your mind, or maybe intentionally, maybe unintentionally, you create scenarios that may not be factual, to where you need support, and you expect people to do that, whether whether it's factual or not, whether you are do need help or whether you don't need help. You know what I mean? But then you never get that because people tend to see because it is manipulative, right? Even if you're not intended to be manipulative, you're trying to manipulate a result. To me, manipulation is using anything other than honesty and straightforwardness to accomplish a result that you won't get, that you don't think you would get otherwise. I'm not a professional professor, so that was my intake. I think that's what I label, that's what I say is considered manipulation. So if I'm trying to get you to turn the light off instead of turning it on, I might act like I want you to turn it off, so you turn it on because that's manipulation. Okay, so if you are, that's what it is, bro. So now you tend to manipulate what you were. You tend to try to manipulate the results that you feel like you should have gotten when you were that traumatized kid. You know what I mean? Whether it's your friends helping you when you got jumped in a schoolyard or something. Maybe they didn't. Now, as a grown up, you're constantly fighting around your friends, your new friends, because you want to recreate that scenario where your friends weren't with you as a child. Now, obviously, that's not the situation I'm speaking on. I can't speak specifically the situation I'm speaking on because it's not my. This is not this is not my stuff to tell. You know what I mean? I just want to tell the lesson that comes from it. We have to look at, especially specifically back to childhood, how and why our thought processes developed to the way they uh, operate today. And like I said, it usually goes back to traumatic childhood. And it could be a good thing or a bad thing. Recognizing positive mindsets and positive thinking patterns is not a bad thing. Use that to your benefit. Like realize, oh, why do I think that? Oh, because of this is a childhood. Now you know a good way to teach your children, maybe. If you're addressing your own mindset, whether negative or positive, you know how to apply that to the youth of today, the youth of tomorrow. And my ultimate goal in all of this and speaking in all of it, because speaking helps me also learn myself. It helps me get a better understanding into my own psyche. Therefore, I can better relate why I ended up in the right places I've ended up and why I've ended up in the wrong places I ended up. And then hopefully I can relay that and use that information to help the kids that are in the situations I was in childhood, or the situations that this person was in childhood, or the situations that you were in childhood, and prevent them from having to go through the negative and just trying to freaking shower them in the positive shit from childhood, which we tend to forget when you realize that you lived a traumatic childhood. I thought I had a good upbringing. Parent wise, I my mother raised us good. Unstable on the other end, but it took me years. Let me say, it took me years to realize, damn, I did have a traumatic childhood. Like it didn't look like we weren't getting, it's not like we're just getting abused. No, but there's traumatic shit all through the childhood. And I realized, like, I look back, like, damn, like, yeah, I did have a traumatic, and that's okay to admit that, man. That's okay. And let me tell you, man, I have to add this on. It's not specifically related, man. Well, kind of. We all deal with trauma, whether it's from today, yesterday, whether we fear tomorrow, whether it's from childhood. Um, don't give up, man. I tried giving up multiple times. I had 3 legitimate suicide attempts from childhood. Last one I was 18, so but I still consider that kind of childhood. The rest was like young, got bullied and all that, didn't fit in. I didn't, but don't give up, because look, not saying like I'm some type of, but I'm sitting here trying to help people today now, trying to prevent them from going through that. If I took my life those times that I did, I wouldn't be here. And maybe, like I said, I reach one person, man, which I hope at least. That would be great. I would love to reach hundreds and thousands and millions, right? But I don't care. I'll take what I can get. You know what I mean? But think about that. You're going through what you're going through. And I tell people this because I believe it was told to me before. You know what I mean? Or I read it somewhere. But like, you're that hurt person today that that could help that hurt person tomorrow. Essentially, that's what was said, right? Like, there's a person out there, there's a little boy, there's a little Justin out there going through what I went through in childhood that might be looking up now, that wants to give up, but might be looking at me now like, man, I can. He made it through. Like I can do it. That might be the hope that that kid needs, or there might be that little girl, that little boy that are dealing with physical or sexual or mental abuse, or whatever they're going through. Because come on, it is disgustingly common for these things to happen. Disgustingly common for this shit to happen. And I take it very seriously, man. I don't play when it comes to children, man. I don't play. All right? And we need to take this shit seriously because there's kids being victimized as well. So it's another thing. You might be the person that prevents this child from either becoming an oppressor themselves, having a distorted mindset, be going to jail, trying to take their own lives, trying to take somebody else's life tomorrow because they're a hurt child. Right now, they're innocent, right? They're not, no, they're molding, right? Their minds are being molded. They're learning, they're growing, they're developing. They don't know what they think. They don't know who they are. They are turning and building into the person they are and who they're going to be, right? Us as adults need to take this situation seriously. Like this level of thinking and this level of concern and consideration, and take our experiences and our what we have learned, the good, what type of mindsets, negative and positive, have developed from childhood, and we need to start teaching these children and helping them. How is that done? I I I don't know. I'm learning this, but we got to try. We got to try. Every other day, I stand near. It seems like I speak to somebody that are telling me a traumatic story, and I always listen, man. And from childhood, and it's fucked up, bro. It's fucked up. And now people maybe they understand a little better why certain ways I think are different when it comes to, you know what I mean? Because I've been locked up with people that have harmed children. I know the children that are no longer children that have been victimized. This shit is not cool, man. So I relate that to this specific topic I'm speaking on because it comes from us first learning our mindsets that developed from childhood and certain events in childhood and continuing events and certain environments in childhood around certain whatever. And we need to take it to the deepest level we're able to understand. And we need to apply it in a positive way to our children. Keep them away from the shit that led you to your negative thinking, that led you to your traumatic experiences, and teach them the shit that had a positive influence on you and your thinking and the positive outcomes that come along with it. You know what I mean? So that's another way I'm just showing you guys how important it is to address and analyze our mindsets and the way we look at things. And like I said, this specific thing was me against the world or the world against me. The world is doing me wrong, right? This comes from thought processes developed in childhood. This comes from a person that has been traumatized through a life something or has been through something specifically. Generally speaking, I could be wrong. In my experience, every time, as far as I'm able to concern, this was the case, including myself. And like I said, I have tried to change that. And as soon as I see any level of that type of thinking coming in, me blaming someone else for something, da 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 da, which is very easy to do, I try to sit back, and sometimes it takes me a little bit, but I sit back and I listen. I'm like, damn, all right, I, I had a part in that. I had a part in that. Like I thought I was innocent. It's happened recently, and I reached out to everybody I could to tell them, yo, I was wrong about this specific thing. Motherfuckers like, yo, why are you reaching out? Like, why are you? Because I gotta take accountability for certain things. You know what I mean? Like when you think you're actually, which is not easy, especially when lies are being propagated. You know what I mean? But just that's just one. So that's not always easy. You know what I mean? However, regardless if you were a victim or not, just realize how you can learn from that situation. It doesn't justify another person's actions. It doesn't say that they were right. It doesn't say you deserve it. But realize how you contribute to any situation you end up in life. You know what I mean? So hopefully that can be a sensitive topic because there's certain situations like, you know, but you have to think of how you could possibly better protect yourself from being in a position to be harmed in any type of way mentally. Sometimes that's not possible. Children don't have no damn choice. If a child is going through something traumatic, they're stuck at home. You know what I mean? But that's why, like I said, we try to do our part. We teach who we can. We better our understanding of our own minds and we relate that to our childhoods. You know what I mean? And one of them thinkings, like I said, is the world doing me wrong. These children, maybe someone getting bullied. I had someone else that talked to me recently. They have a child that he gets bullied a lot, right? So, and I have some things, some programs I want to implement in schools that I hopefully are soon down the line that I hope can help with this issue. But now, what do you think that kid's gonna? If he's getting bullied, that means he don't fit in. That means he's insecure. That means he thinks everybody don't like him, right? Then when he grows up, it's the you think he's gonna just forget this type of thinking? Not, it's not likely. I mean, depending what happens in his later years of life, and I hope that he's able to get through this position because I know where I went in my life, uh, partially because of bullying. That's how I ever indulged, I think, or continued to indulge in violence because it was a way of acceptance. It's how I got accepted. That's all I knew. I didn't know who I was. But like I said, in this kid, you're getting bullied when you grow up. You know, the whole playground's against you. So when you go up, you're thinking the whole world's against you, man. And these are thought patterns that could possibly be recognized and addressed in childhood before they develop into an adult mindset. How do you do that? I don't know, bro. I'm not a freaking expert, right? But the first step is understanding that there's an issue that needs to be addressed, right? This needs to be addressed. This mindset comes from traumatic childhoods. Like I said, I started this specific video off, and it was supposed to be a short video, like 15 minutes. And you know how I get sometimes when I'm passionate, especially when it starts to trace back to childhood and traumatic uh, scenarios for that. Oh, because listen, no, we got to give a video on that. I just seen something on the news where there's two, I forget this area, man, two kids that were severely malnourished. Like you can see their parents kept pieces of shit, man. Bro, that's why I always pay attention as well, man. Pay attention. I mean, maybe there was no signs of this. We're gonna speak on that, bro. We'll get there, bro. I want to do my next video on that because this shit got me mad, man. This shit got me mad, man. Leave them damn kids alone, man. For you. All right, man. Listen, we're gonna end here. I think I hit my point, man. You got any questions, comments, concerns, anything, man? Hit it. Like, love, all that. Follow TikTok, TikTok, man. I don't post much on there, but follow anything Just a Felon. I'm only an administrator on the Just a Felon Facebook page, so forget that, John, man. I'm trying to get it off there. It's a crazy situation. I don't really have access to it. Neither does anybody right now, so that's a good thing. Keep tuning into my Facebook page. Like I said, as I said before, we're working on getting YouTube up. I am trying to strategically choose the platform I want to stay on. Man, I like staying on Facebook. However, I do want to reach as broad of an audience as possible, so I hope you guys will follow me wherever I go. This isn't stopping here. I promise you to my last breath, I'm going to keep trying to do this, man. Help me get my message out, man. Even if you're just quoting what I'm saying, man, I don't care. You don't even have to give me credit. Although I love more people to come to my channel, man, but, take what I say to heart, think about it, learn, and give me advice as well, man. Thank you, everybody, that's tuning in. Just a Felon, man. Stay tuned. Like I said, February 6th, man. I'm going on some of these podcasts. I'm excited about that. Got to travel to Connecticut, man. As much as I say now, don't matter. I will keep you guys updated, man. Yo, Like, subscribe, all that fly stuff. Just a Felon, man. Love you guys, man. All right.